Hey guys, Czar here. Hope all is well. Trust you're having a good morning so far. It is Thursday, December 19th. It is 9:28, almost 2 minutes away from the New York Open. And what an afternoon and evening it was yesterday. FOMC, of course, the interest rate announcement, and then the press conference. And this is what happened. The Dow continued its record sell-off, massive gladiator candle here. Down now, the Dow down from the high, 6.75% approximately. The S&P guys from the high here, just the same wave that you were looking at there on the Dow, down 4.5%, and the Nasdaq down 5%, 5.02% from the high. Big candle yesterday, of course, as you know, if you watch this at all. So the daily frame, obviously, massive down candles yesterday on all three sisters. We have inside days naturally, or not surprisingly, I should say. And we have bullish bodies for now. These are small relative candles, but these are normal candles based on what we typically see. But of course, after such a big move, the point moves today could be fairly significant as a result of what happened yesterday afternoon. This is the two sisters, guys, or these are the two sisters, NASDAQ and S&P. I won't include the Dow on this. I just wanted to show you the daily frame since this move on the Dow is so historic. Now back to the 1970s, I believe, or even before, since we've had a losing streak in terms of number of down days here on the Dow. We are 20 seconds away from the open here. I'll be cutting out dead air, sideways grinding action, non-teaching moments, and keep this video nice and tight. I will likely be very patient on the open here to really get a sense and a feeling of what this market is thinking as we open here before taking any kind of action. This is my trading grid, guys. We are open, by the way, just opened up here and driving down right out of the gates here for now on this thing. And there's that daily inside day. This is the 30-minute chart, guys. Let's take a quick look at this. There's Asia, it's sideways, kind of rising up here a little bit in the UK session. We have overlap now of UK and New York. You can see that first 30-minute candle is a down body so far. I put a zone here, guys, fairly minor zone, of course, just from right here, from the last 2 hours or so, 2.5 hours in the UK session. This is the big stuff. This is the clean air or the clean traffic from the big sell-off yesterday. There's the 1 minute open range, still forming. Another 10 seconds to go on that. We'll see how we resolve here in a moment. I am going to drop down to the 30-second chart here, guys, this morning for some more surgical detail given what we're looking at here. Pushing up here now, guys. Some buying right out of the gates. I'm not going to jump on anything here. Things could get pretty volatile here on the open. Let's take a look at the two sisters. S&P above open range here too. Back down to the bottom of the open range here, guys. Inside of that range still on the 30-minute chart. Inside day, of course. Bullish body. I have no idea where this is going, guys, and I'm sure nobody does. Pushing up here now, guys. Just gonna watch this. Nothing to do here, guys. S&P making a soft run at it here. NASDAQ sleeping. All right, guys, flipping down here, not touching this. S&P, yeah, pulling back as well. Gonna wait here for a bit. I don't mind letting this go if it wants to drop. Got mixed messages here on the daily, of course. And there it goes. Selling continuing for now. Just watching. Let's see if it's going to continue down here. I'll expand this range here so we can see. S&P back into the open range. We are on VWAP here, guys, for the future session. Not feeling any conviction around anything here. Pulling all the way back up here, guys, into the open range. Look at this. All right, driving down, that might have been a pretty good entry there, obviously, in hindsight. Just watching this grind. All right, guys, let's see if we're going to drive down here. We have a series of lower highs, equal lows so far, but high, lower, below and rejecting from the open range. 9 below, 21. We've broken the prior 30-minute candle low. Curious to see if we're going to break the low here of the day, guys. We do have news coming out in about 11 minutes or so. So guys, we have news in about 9 minutes. It's existing home sales for month-over-month for November. And in my experience, this doesn't really move the market very much, quite frankly, even though it's categorized as high-impact news. I also think that if we break the low here anytime soon in the next couple of minutes, we may have enough time to dynamically manage the trade and or even hit targets before the news even comes out. But that's all part of the risk equation. You will not see me have an open order like this, a live order, before the big events, guys. The 8:30 news events, the 2 p.m. news events like yesterday. You will never see me do that. And knock on wood, I hope I would never do that. I learned lessons the hard way many, many years ago on that front, and I just don't do that anymore. But you'll see when this news event comes out, there will likely be not much of a reaction. But please don't trade based on what you see here today or what I'm saying here that I do. This is a calculated business practice decision that I make for an overall probability mindset, right? It's not about today or to what to make a habit of doing at 10 a.m. news events. Everyone needs to make their own decisions on these things. So what do we have here, guys? A series of lower highs, below open range, below EMAs, 9 below 21, after a massive sell-off day and a resting morning, right? A little pullback here, fairly orderly through Asia and UK. And then we have 1, 2, 3 down candles. In other words, down bottoms here on the 30-minute chart. 1, 2, and 3. In fact, the current 30-minute candle is an engulfing candle. It is a bearish engulfing candle. Just to add to the units of conviction here, if we break the low. If we don't break the low, there is no entry confirmation for me. That's the trigger, guys, after everything that I just mentioned. Here we go, guys. Still 6 minutes to news. I'm okay with that. There are much bigger forces in this market right now than existing home sales figures. Here we go, guys. I'm in. Short the NASDAQ. Looking to drive down here before the news comes out, ideally. And if not, I may manage this fairly actively and dynamically. If I get a chance, we need to pull down here a little bit first. Here's the news, guys. As you can see, not much of a reaction. In fact, this candle so far is no bigger than this one, this one, this one, this one, and certainly not this one. But again, you need to decide how you handle these news events yourself. The big ones, NFP, interest rates, CPI, PPI, FOMC, all that good stuff, I would never trade ahead of or have an open trade in. And of course, the safest route is not to be trading with any of these news events. All right, guys, here we go. Getting ready to move my stop to break even at the 3/4. There it is. Stayed alive for this. Move my stop to break even, guys. Now it's a no-lose trade. It's a no-lose trade after this messiness and this pullback all the way up towards the open range. Fortunately, I was on a long phone call, and so I didn't have to emotionally sit through that. And things are now at least in a no-lose position. Let's make a notation here. Moved to break even right there. Now the waiting game. And there it is, guys. Took a lot of patience here this morning. Lots of adverse excursion, but then finally drove down, locking in a sure no lose right here, and then driving into the promised land. Thanks for joining me, guys. Appreciate you. Have an amazing afternoon, and we'll talk to you soon.